Hey, Logan, thanks for the time this afternoon. We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Logan, before we get into how is Blake doing? You guys were rotating with Maggie and I each and every week, and tough to hear about, your captain on that defense and calling all the plays. How's he doing after the torn ACL?
He's in really good spirits, man, and I'm sure it's killing him because Blake is about ball. If you don't know Blake Martinez, that man, he doesn't drink alcohol. He doesn't do anything outside, watch film, and trade Pokemon cards. So ball is his life for the most part, but he's in a good spot, and he says he's going to be around to help the other backers out, to help us out. So his morale was pretty good, and he's going to attack. He's like, 8 months or whatever, and I'm back. I'm not going to give him no timelines, but he's going to attack this thing similar to how Saquon did. And sometimes injuries, fortunately I broke my leg when I was playing some of my best ball a couple years ago, and you never know why they happen. It's part of the sport. It never seems fair, but it for some people, it makes them a better player afterwards. And I think he'll come back, hopefully a better player if that's possible, because he's a really good one.
Yeah, no doubt, though. Such a huge loss for your defense. And, there's just no way to sugarcoat it, Logan. I mean, this is a rough game for you guys. Now you're 0-3. I know personally you had 2 near interceptions that were dropped. I mean, the stiff arm. How are you feeling after this game?
I'm good, man. Like, one thing about me is I prepare really hard every game, and you're not going to hear a lot of regrets from me because I give it my all. And I remember, taking my daughter my daughter and son to soccer practice, and my son's 3 years old, and he's dribbling the ball, and he's doing so good, and some kid took the ball from him. He dropped to his knees. He didn't think kids were allowed to take the ball from him. And he dropped to his knees. He didn't want to play anymore, and I'm like, listen, buddy, you got to get back in there. Sometimes you don't win every time, So I'm a parent, man. I got kids, and I got to tell them you got to keep pushing even when it doesn't go great. I watch my game. I'm around the ball a lot, which is good. I pride myself on coming down with some of those, but I'm not the first DB to drop one. I won't be the last one. It's good to be around the ball, and looking back at it, if I would have zagged instead of zigged at the end, or zig instead of zag, I believe I could make some plays to end that game for our team, and that's what I pride myself on. And didn't do it, but you got to have a shooter's mentality, man. You can't be discouraged. You can't want to quit. You can't want to U-turn. You got to go back out there and take that shot again, and hopefully it goes in, and hopefully you make the plays to win the game. But I'm comfortable in those moments. I was comfortable with what happened, and I'm giving max effort. There's no regret. I laid on the line for the fans and for the people. So I gave it my best shot, and I'll be back next week, and I'll be a force to be reckoned with again.
Yeah, Logan, I mean, I understand your mentality, and it sounds healthy and some life lessons along the way. But, Giants fans are super frustrated because they see the talent on this team, especially on the defense, and yet the team's not able to execute. Why?
I mean, listen, man, the fans deserve to be frustrated. You don't win a game that's easy to be frustrated, and I understand that. I grew up in this area, right? So it's not SEC. When you're from the South, when I played in Tennessee, it was all about Alabama football and SEC football down there. And when you're up north, it's about pro sports. This is people's, livelihood. This is what people talk about every single day. So I understand the importance, and it's that important to me. And look, we played better defense that game. I don't care what you tell me. We played better defense. We just didn't make the play at the end of the game to win the game. That's really it. And it's a production business, and you get paid on wins and losses. So that's what it is. But when you look at the fine line of things, we, in the first half there, we let up they scored a touchdown. Our offense had a turnover, and we went and got a turnover right back. So we settled down some of that. And we played 3 quarters of really good defense. And the last drive at the end, they did enough what they had to do to kick a field goal to win. So you look back, you clean that stuff up. But, we have the talent, and we have good character in there. We have good guys who are working hard. And sometimes when it doesn't turn out your way, even when you're working hard, you got to keep pushing. So we're going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pushing it. And we'll clean it up. and we'll do what we got to do to win the games. I mean, there's no excuses. That's it.
No, get that, but 0-3 is 0-3, right, Logan? So, I mean, you've been part of winning teams, and it's been a struggle here with the Giants, especially this year, last year. And I think Giant fans reacting to what this organization has been through before you got here, Logan.
For sure.
And I guess it's a case of, the effort's going to be there. What about the results? Like, do you feel like Blake last week was very, very confident that we're right there? Like, the results are going to come before the Falcon game. Do you feel like this team, you've been around winning teams, you feel like this team is close?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you lost a game by a last-second field goal. That's close. That's the definition of close. Guys, I was on the show last year, right?
Yep.
You guys said, I'm on good teams. And I told you on the Tennessee Titans, we were 2-4. They're going to trade the whole team. They were trading Derrick Henry. They were trading me. Get rid of ship, jump ship. We went to the AFC Championship. And now you guys are telling me I've been on good teams my whole career. That's not how it starts. In New England, I was 2-2. 2 of those years, I won the Super Bowl. That's not 0-3. The Chiefs are 1-2. Are the Chiefs a bad team?
No,
yeah,
but also,
Logan,
here's the difference,
no,
Logan.
I understand.
The Chiefs
I understand what the fans are going to.
No, you get it, but the Chiefs have gone to back-to-back Super Bowls, so there's a little bit of a grace period, right?
Same with Belichick,
the grace period is. But all I'm telling you is that even in the Giants teams that won Super Bowls, it wasn't always great in the beginning.
Gotcha.
I understand there's frustration through the years, but you need people like me on my side that can make a difference in the game, that can make the Giants fans smile. You got to make sure I'm believing, and I do believe. It's easy. When I'm said and done and I'm in your seat one day and I'm talking, it's easy to sit there and I'm going to commentate the hell out of – I'm going to analyze and break it down and, this player's terrible and that team's terrible and they have no results and they have no – because you're reacting to the fact of the results, right? You're sitting in your chair, you're reacting to the fact. But I can actually do something about it. And you want players who believe. You want players who work hard. It's not a lack of hard work and it's not a lack of belief. I don't know why we didn't win those 3 games. I don't know. But I'm encouraged enough that I'm still going to wake up early. I'm still going to catch 100 balls before the game, whether I drop a pick or not. That stuff is known in my mind as a fluke. When I drop a pick, it's a fluke because guys see how many balls I catch in practice, see how many picks I catch in practice, see how many picks I call in my career. That's just the belief I have, and that's the belief I have in here. And, hey, until you guys move me out of New York, I'm going to believe and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to encourage other people to do that even when the results don't go your way. So what? Would you quit?
No one.
We're gonna keep working at it.
Yeah.
And keep getting better. And I'm gonna show up to my radio show and tell you guys that. And I'm gonna try to make a difference to win these games.
I get
we
that.
know you believe, but
I just wanted to react because you're a leader, right? And and we had Carl Banks on, and Carl, well respected. Carl. And he's been around the game for a long time. Legendary Giant, right? Talked about the alpha males. On the defense, like where are the alpha males in that room? Didn't question the leadership, didn't question the character of your team. Question maybe guys need to get a little angrier, a little chip. The alpha male mentality, yeah. Right? Correct. Do you think that's an issue? Looking out around that room, looking around that locker room, Logan, or no?
Alpha males?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's an issue. I don't think that's an issue at all. Like I said, I pride myself on winning these games for the organization, for the team. And I didn't win it for us that game, guys, and I apologize for that. But I have no regret about it. I got to go back here and go to work. And I think alpha males, they show up to work, they set the tone in practice, and they go out there and do that. And that's what we've been doing. And the results hasn't shown that, but it's a 3-game sample, and I understand that. But I can't necessarily agree with that. I've been on some teams. And I think we have some good alpha males on this team.
Logan Ryan is our guest. Logan, I know it's clear that you believe, right? You believe in yourself. You've had the results in your career to back it up. That's why I was surprised when Saquon said after the game, the players need to start believing in each other and believing in the scheme. And only when that happens are we going to start winning games. So you believe, but, is there an issue that the rest of the team does not have the same buy-in as you do? And is that something you can diagnose from being in that locker room?
No, I really think if anything coming out of training camp and coming out everything was well written is how bought in this team is, how much this team believes, how much better this team is. I think that was what the stories were because that was true. We were scratching and clawing in camp. We had a tough camp and we're bought in. I don't think that was ever questioned. The results start to happen and now people are questioning the belief. And sometimes with, the statements, and I wasn't there with Saquon, but it's all about how the question is framed. And we talked about that, right? You guys can ask me certain questions
right,
saying, hey, Saquon, is there enough belief in the team? And you might say, well, until we all believe, it's not going to get done. And that's true. But you're not there to see how the question is framed. We're just, again, reading the quotes and reading the results and analyzing that. So, we talked about how sometimes, listen, nobody wants to hear positivity, blah, 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 when things aren't going well. I get that. We live in New Jersey, man. I'm as real as it comes. But to understanding what the situation is, there's urgency. There needs to be urgency. I don't think you're dealing with a bunch of guys who don't care about ball, who are rich and don't give it their all, who don't have a tough coach, who don't go to practice, who fake injuries, who are trying to skip out on it, who are trying to dodge interviews. I don't think you're dealing with that. I think you're dealing with good character. Guys are working hard, and it's been frustrating for the players and the fan base because the results aren't there, and they haven't saw the wins. But if the field goal don't go in or if they don't jump off sides, it's a win. So I understand that at the end of the day, you see a loss, you see 0-3, and you're pissed off. But I'm just telling you that there's some silver lining beneath that, and the only way to make change is to believe, and the only way to make change is to stay the course. If I jump ship, or if I stop doing everything I did every time I didn't get the results I wanted, I wouldn't be here today.
sure.
And I'm telling all those kids who are listening today, I'm telling all those parents who have kids that are basketball players and hockey players, if their kid makes it big one day and their fans are booing them because he didn't play well, I hope that kid stays encouraged. I hope my kids stay encouraged. And I'm still encouraged because I understand that most people can't even be an athlete nowadays because of how much Twitter roasts them and this and this and that. But I'm just telling you, man, I'm still encouraged because I put a lot of work in. I have a lot of fun playing this game, and it means a lot to me too. And it means a lot to people watch how I react and how I handle myself after losses. I handle myself with as much grace as I do after a win. And when we start having some wins, I'm going to stay locked in the next week, and I'm going to focus on the opponent. That's New Orleans. When you look
at your head coach Judge, the messaging here, Logan, belief, hunger, drive. He says all the right things. You guys practice the right way. The results have not come as of yet for Joe Judge as a head coach. The belief, though, in the head coach is still all the way there from everybody in that room.
Yeah, 100%. He commands that, and it's there. So I don't think that's in question.
Logan Ryan is our guest. Logan, I love what you're saying, and I get like the greater philosophical part of it, but there is just like the frustration of the fans because you're in a results business, right? And I get what you're saying, but for the person who's been riding and dying with the Giants and who's had to endure all of this losing, now you head down to New Orleans, which is notoriously a very, very difficult place to play. You faced Jameis before. I went back through your game logs, though. I don't think that you've played in New Orleans. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think you've played in the Superdome. How do you prepare for what is going to be a super emotional crowd with the Saints playing their first game in the Superdome this season after the devastation of Hurricane Ida?
Yeah, I played the Superdome a couple of times. I think it might have been preseason.
Okay.
But it's gonna be nothing like what it was. What this is gonna be. I mean, This is gonna be electric, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's honestly gonna be a lot of fun because obviously you know what's going on in their city and what they're going through. And I mean, as a football player, you like those type of environments. As a football player, you like the raucous environment. And some athletes, they really get off with being on the opponent, being on the road, silencing the crowd, taking that and using that. So it's going to be electric. It's going to be really hard to duplicate it. We're going to prepare for some crowd noise, obviously. But we got to go out there and play the Saints on the field. We got to go play Jameis Winston and Alvin Kamara. And Alvin Kamara is going to have a bigger impact on the game than the fans will. So we got to figure out how to contain him and force James into some turnovers and stuff like that. And honestly, I think our defense did a great job of punching the ball out. I think there was a whole bunch of balls that came out that last game. I don't know how Julian Love's, it wasn't a fumble. But those are some guys that are forcing some fumbles, punching the ball out, just didn't roll our way. And I understand, people don't want to hear that, but I think we got to do a good job getting the ball off these guys and getting our offense more possession.
Jameis is going to give you an opportunity to make some plays on some footballs on Sunday, Logan. You know that. I mean, we've all seen it. I want to ask you defensively, and I agree with you. I thought the defensive effort against Atlanta was significantly better than what we've seen here, what we saw the first 2 weeks for the Giants against the Broncos and against Washington. I guess we were expecting coming into the year to kind of be the constant pickup from where you guys left off a year ago. Why has the defense not been able to pick up exactly where they were a year ago as a unit, as a top 10 group in the NFL, and kind of take the NFC East by storm defensively?
Yeah, it's a process. I mean, I think we wish that was the way. I think we wish that's how it went down. It just hasn't been that way. And it's a process, and we got to work through it, and we're incorporating some new players in and playing together. And we just got to, players are taking ownership of that, man. Nobody's pointing no fingers and making excuses. I think every guy's saying they could do a little bit better. And that's really it, man. It's 3 games and no Hall of Fame defense or record-setting defense was built in 3 games. We got to just keep improving. We improved last week, like we said. Didn't improve enough. And we got to just keep improving. But, that's really it. I don't have all that answer, man. If I had all that answer, I'd be a billionaire. But I don't have all those answers. But for what I know is that we got guys that are working hard, that care, talented players, and we're getting better, and we need to continue that trend.
Hey, Logan, talking about, being close, a play here or there, talented guys, I totally get it. But, that's like near misses, which, I don't know how much they mean outside of your building. Is the expectation inside the building still that this should be a playoff team, or are you guys looking at different goals?
I mean, there's no way we can focus on that at the moment, right? You got to focus on the game ahead of you. And I know that sounds cliche. And every question you ask me has been, Logan, I get what you're saying philosophically, but, we're 0-3. That's the reality of it. So, obviously, we have to focus on this game. And that's all that matters is this game. When you're 0-3, all you can do is take it one game at a time. So there's nothing philosophical about that. There's no way. There's no but at the end of that question. It's just what it is, and that's the reality of it. And the guys on this side, whoever's with us is with us. I understand the frustration. Like I said, it's not SEC country. It's the Northeast. Pro sports is all that matters. And from week to week, it's you're the best, you're the worst. That's the society we live in today. And we got to sit here and do whatever we have to do inside the locker room, and the fans are still with us to believe and go get this game. And I could probably count very few people that believe in us to win this game, but the ones that actually have an effect on the outcome, like myself and some others, we got to believe. That's all that matters. We're going to hostile territory, right, guys? So you want some warriors with you. You want some guys who are afraid or worried what people think about them. And I'm just telling you, I'm a guy who doesn't care what people think about me. I'm very comfortable in my skin. I played a lot of years. I was a guy drafted a 3rd round out of Rutgers. I had to scratch and claw for everything. So the opportunity I have to be a leader and a captain on the New York Giants that's 0-3, I'll take it. I'll take it with pride. If you guys got to throw stones at me right now because we're not what we thought we were and all that stuff, that's fine. But if we get some glory at the end, I'm going to be the same guy.
Logan, it's not personal at all, dude.
Logan, nothing personal.
Absolutely not.
It's just the Giant fan. Logan, you know this. The Giant fan is frustrated. You're from the area. You know it. They want the Giants to win. They were disappointed. It was a game that, Atlanta coming to town, a Falcon team that, let's be honest, not a particularly good football team, and that's a game that the Giants need to win on Sunday. We're disappointed, that this team's off to an 0-3 start.
No, listen, guys, I'm not taking it personal. I'm just saying it's part of the job, right?
Yeah.
This is part of my job, so that's what I'm doing. I'm taking my job serious. It matters to me, too. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get it right. Let me get it right. I got to go to work. So I'm going to go to work and get it right, and I'm sorry about the Falcons game. I felt like I had an impact to win that game, and I didn't do it.
Well, it's not, but Logan,
it's not on one person.
It's not just you. It's not just you.
I know, guys, but I have an impact on it, and we're going to get it right. And it's not just no what ifs. We just got to focus on New Orleans, and the Falcons game's not going to help us next week to win that game. So we got to focus on doing what we got to do to win that game, and go out there and get it done.
Hey, Logan, good luck on Sunday down in New Orleans. All right, and we appreciate the time. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it.
You got it. That's Logan Ryan. And the Giants Report is brought to you by Stop and Shop, the official supermarket of the New York Giants.